Yes, present. Yes, Aparna, I can proceed.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, good evening, everyone. So today we are going to, this is a kind of orientation session that we are giving for PMI Chennai volunteers. So usually we go to the different schools and address the 8th standard to 9th standard girl students from different government schools through our NGO partner called Project Putri. Hope you all know about that. So this is a little background about Project Putri before I start about PM as a life skill. Project Putri is a kind of initiative by Avatar Human Capital Trust, and this is initiative is one of its kind in India itself, and it is totally focusing on career intentionality of the girl students, especially across the Tamil Nadu, and it is expanding to the interior parts of the Tamil Nadu. So the purpose of this Project Putri is the main objective is to reach out to maximum number of people to the girl students, because there are some situations like in government schools, the students who are studying, right? The parents may not be in a position to guide the children, or they may not be able to complete even 10th standard. And after 10th standard, they can actually go ahead and pursue their career to further studies. And that's where it's very important for them to also get into jobs. Employment is which is very important, and indirectly it is contributing to the economy of India. Yeah, so it's a kind of initiative which is contributing at the younger stage. We are trying to inject this sow the seeds of career intentionality to the girl students. And hats off to the Project Putri team. They are doing a wonderful job in this field. And this is a kind of collaboration between PMI Chennai and Project Putri. This has been going on from more than 4.5 years from now. Recently, Putri has celebrated 5 years anniversary. So this is a little background. Before I start about project management as a life skill, uh, there are other different skills which are required for the girl students. There are around 40 different skills which are provided by the Project Putri apart from project management as a life skill. Like, for example, self-confidence, communication, assertiveness. These are all some of the modules which they develop completely towards the age of that suits the age of the students. And project management as a life skill is one of the skills that we are providing, one of these 40 skills that Project Putri is providing. And we are actually proud to contribute our little bit in this the big initiative that they are taking care. So just to start with project management, we are talking to the audience of age between, the studying from 8th standard, 9th standard, 10th standard, and then +1 and +2. So this is the different types of audience that we have from the students. And usually we all know that attention span of the students is very, very less when compared to the because they have to attend the academic sessions whole day, and towards the last period, last session, last 1 hour will be given to this additional skills, acquiring these additional skills for them. So their attention will be little lesser because they might need to get back home, and maybe if it is a Friday, next day is again Saturday and all, like weekdays. So little challenge for our volunteers to get their attention towards the session. Yeah, so that's where it is very, very important for us to start with a general life example rather than using the project management terminology, because we all know our own the knowledge which we acquire, and we all already use this skill in our corporates, in our day-to-day works, right? But the students are very, very new to this project management. They don't even know the words, the meaning of project and meaning of management. So we start with the kind of interaction with the students, like what is importantly like the life skill itself. Yeah, with the basic definition of life skill. For example, swimming is a life skill. Yeah, so cycling is another example for life skill. That means once we learn cycling, we will never forget for life, right? Maybe we would have learned this cycling at the age of 5 years, not 5 years, maybe 7 years, 8 years, something. But throughout the life, we will not forget this. So project management is something like that. So once we understand, that is a kind of adoption of the skill for life. So, and we are going to apply the project management into our day-to-day life, day-to-day work itself. So as a students, you can adopt the skill and learn the skill, and we will tell you about how we can actually, understand and what are the different aspects of project management. So this is how we will start. And before even start, I would like to just show you a kind of checklist that we use generally. Just give me a second. So one of the prerequisites is it's a kind of 70% we should use the Tamil language, and 30% is English, because it's a Chennai. It's a mix of both the languages is preferable. Yeah. Yeah, Sundar.
Your screen went off.
Yes, yes. I'm just sharing back again. I'm going to switch between PowerPoint to the Excel sheet.
Fine.
Yeah. So can you see the screen Excel sheet? So these are the checklist items before taking the Putri sessions. So we need to, one day before, we need to confirm with the Putri coordinator of whether the session is there or not, because there are chances of no last minute cancellation by the school itself, because school is having a yeah, yeah, thank you. School is having other programs as well. So depending on the exam schedule of the students, or depending of various programs which are already planned by the school, they might provide us the schedule. So there is a confirmation need to be, we need to, one day before, we need to check all these things. And some schools are ready to provide us 1 hour of duration for the session, and some schools are providing 2 hours. So we can engage a little bit in detail when we have this 2 hours of session, and we can also collect the kind of video testimonials and all this. We can have little more time to interact with the students, and how they have actually understood the concepts, and in what way they are able to learn this and adopt to this. So we can spend some time to listen to them. So if it is 1 hour session, I know it's a kind of rush, but still we can make use of make them understand like what is this concept is all about. And number of students, depending on that, it will be useful for us to know, for a group activity we can group the number of the students depending on total. And yeah, there is a smart classroom in almost all the government schools nowadays. So we need to know, like, one day before project, Putri coordinator will let us know whether there is a smart classroom is available for us or not, so that we can carry our slides and we can display through the projector to all the students. So as we speak, they can visualize what is that we are talking about. So even though we use the Tamil words, they will actually note down in English whatever we are showing. Like for example, scope, schedule, cost. These are the terms they will actually note down using a paper. Yeah, and then yeah, the taking the collaterals with us. Like there are, I'm going to show you the Google Drive where we have 4 primary files, including this checklist and also the PPT deck. And there are sample risk template and sample work breakdown structure we have created. So towards the end, we can show the templates also. Yeah. Let's say in some of the schools where I went, I experienced that they don't have a projector. So we have used actually the chalk piece and a blackboard to explain these things, and like relation between what are the 5 stages of project management and all those things. So it depends on the facilities available. But post COVID, what the volunteers are expressing to me that I mean, all the facilities have been arranged in all the schools, almost in all the government schools. Yeah, and another thing is, for any activity, that means group activity, the students have to use the paper, pens, and all these things, right? So the stationery material will be provided by the Putri volunteers. We can let them know in a day advance, like depending on the number of students. Yeah. And 8th point here is talking about PMI CC banner. So if possible, please try to carry this one. Of course, when we are doing the multiple sessions on a same week or same day, it's not possible. But if possible, wherever it is, feasible, you can take it forward with you, carry with you. Yeah, and yeah, so this is important point from school point of view, to attend at least 2 teachers. We can request a day before to inform. I mean, we can inform to the Putri volunteers saying that if one or two teachers from the school are also attending this session rather than only the students from the classes, it will be easier for them. We can get a buy-in from the teachers as well. That's where is very important, because it's not only that students are learning. When teachers are understanding what is this project management and why we are teaching project management as a life skill, they will actually come to know, yes, this is a something like we can apply on day-to-day work. Even teachers will learn. And in one of the schools, the teachers got inspired and they gave a video testimonials to us, to our volunteers. So that's a fantastic experience. And indirectly, they can encourage the students to come forward and attend these sessions, kind of, like these life skill sessions. So this is important point. Wherever we go, we make sure that we will at least invite 2 to 3 higher secondary teachers to attend our classes. Yeah. And last but not least, yes, of course, we need to create an awareness so that no other schools are also bringing. It's not from a branding point of view, but we need to take up pictures of the sessions. Like Putri coordinators will take care of that even before we tell them. But in case we can also explicitly mention about this. And if some students are very active and you found them that they are like willing to share their experiences after the session, we can actually ask them to speak and we can take a recording if the time permits, and again with all the Putri volunteer coordinations. Yeah. So yeah, PMI EF liaison is Aslam, as you all know, our volunteer leader. So you can be in touch with him and share these pictures and any testimonials from the team. So mainly we are going to share this information in the social media as well, where we can also tag your profile and also name of the school in full and location and area of the school and how many number of students have attended this session and from which standard, like whether it is 8th standard, 9th standard. So why basically we are trying to understand the students from the standard, from the class point of view is, if it is 10th standard students, they can relate to a little bigger examples like a metro project or a kind of like a manufacturing of a car. For example, Ashok Leyland or a Ford company is manufacturing a car. This is an example of a project. A metro project is also an example. So this is a kind of examples that we can mention in between to the 10th standard students. But if it is 8th standard students, they are only now only they are slowly opening up. Yeah, and definitely all of them are enthusiastic. They are not like the our generation, right? This latest generation, they are very curious, they are very enthusiastic, and learning is something like anything new that we speak, they are ready to listen, and they are actually ready to express and question us back. So this is what is like very excellent about them. So yeah, this is about the checklist that I want to share. So, going back to this PPT again. So if you have any queries, you can please start yeah, in Q&A, or you can use this chat window. Sundar, I hope they can question in the chat window, right? They can use chat window.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Thank you. Yeah, just a second. I'm going to share the PPT back. Yeah. So as I said, no, like we start with the life skill. What is the meaning of life skill and how project management is a life skill? Towards the end of the session, they'll come to know like, yeah. So first of all, we will start with like in a day-to-day life, unknowingly or knowingly, we are already doing some projects. Like what kind of projects that we are doing as a students, right? Because we will actually use, as I said, it's not about the project management terminology. They'll be puzzled if we start using those project management artifacts and all those jargons and all. So we will start with a basic example of like preparation for your exam, upcoming exams, or like attending a competition, like if you are any electrician competition, like preparing for Independence Day speech, or if you are making a poster for Kamaraj's birth anniversary. So these are small examples that we can take, and we can say that these are projects for you. Yeah. And if they are able to understand and respond well at this time, we can also say about what is project and what is operation. Yeah. Operation is something like getting ready and go to school every day. That means it is an ongoing activity which is repetitive. We all know that. But this orientation is about we stick with the example called sports day that I'm going to touch upon, because it's very important for them to understand the overall flow. So if we start talking about multiple examples, they'll be puzzled, and at the same time, no, they'll be losing the focus. So that's where our recommendation is to stick to the example of sports day, and based on this entire PPT and entire sports day example, we have come up with the Tamil book we have created. The chapter has created with a group of volunteers. So Vittamidu Vetritodu, that is the one. So we always make sure all the volunteers, whoever are taking the sessions from PMI Chennai, to use the same example so that they can relate to that. Yeah. So these are some of the examples of projects and operations. And when we say the project, there is a start time and there is a end time. And when the competition is completed, that means you have achieved the goal. That means you are trying to achieve an objective. You have set a timetable for your preparation. That means on day one, what you are going to prepare. If you are, like in physics subject, English subject, or something like this, so they are putting up a plan to read the subjects. Yeah, this is a kind of like a project, because there is a start, there is a end. When the exams are finished, that means you have achieved your objective of attending the exam, and that's where is a project end. And are we meeting the objective or not? It depending on our plan. If your plan is best, then we are definitely going to meet the objective. That's what we are slowly trying to make them to understand and getting them into the topic. Yeah. So, and these are all the examples for yourself as an individual. But what are the projects, examples of projects for your school? That means at a school level, what do you think are a projects? That's the next slide. So we say that your school authorities, or your principal, headmaster, whoever are there, the school authorities will also execute the projects. Yeah. Example is Independence Day celebrations. There is a certain agenda to be, fulfilled on the day, and there is a start date, morning time, evening time. There will be audience will be there. So these are all some of the examples at Independence Day lesson plan preparation by the teachers. Yeah. Teachers will monthly lesson plan will be prepared by all the teachers, by different subject wise. So this is also an example. And conducting the sports day, yeah, this is what is that we are going to stick with it. And preparing for a science exhibition. That means if the school authorities are sending some students to a science exhibition to participate in that, so they need to prepare a kind of prototype, and and also showcase the demo and be prepared with what is this, how is this going to be benefited. So that means we are talking more about their projects so that they understand, and it's completely in their language. That's what is more important. Yeah. And planning for the field trip. So this is also another example of projects. So this is all your school is planning. Yeah. Now just imagine sports day. Sports day is an example that we want to take, and we will explain about how we can apply what is project management into this example called sports day. Yeah. And you can imagine yourself as a school authority, or a kind of let's say for example PET teacher is an in charge of the sports day, your physical education trainer. Imagine yourself as a PET trainer, and now can you try to say what are all the tasks that you will do? What are all the things that you arrange for a sports day? What and all required for a sports day? So this is how we will start, and we will explain that there are 5 steps in a project management. Again, we don't use project management, but there are 5 steps to conduct a sports day from a beginning to the end. Yeah. The first step is called initiating in project management language. Yeah. But what is that we are doing in initiating? Initiating means the simple meaning of initiating is a beginning. How do you begin? What is the purpose of sports day? Yeah. That means, for example, school is trying to bring an awareness of a physical activity for every student. This is an objective. So this is the purpose of the project. So this is how your school authorities will define. And we will assign one in charge for the sports day. Yeah. So like as I said, no, physical education trainer. And what and all required. So like a kick-starting of a sports day. So at a very high level, what and all required, and who are all the key people, and mainly the in charge of the sports day. These are all information available during the initiative. And the key point here is the objective of this particular sport. Next one is planning. Planning, again, all these things I don't need to explain much, because we are coming up with a detailed planning. So what and all is required, what in a sense, like all the scope, cost, schedule, risk, everything will be covered here, but we are not getting into details right at this point of time, because we will cover the 10 knowledge areas as well. So planning is a kind of, the success of the sports day will depending on how detailed and how well you are planning. This is what we will say, and we will touch upon these things at a high level. That's all. Yeah. And then next step is whatever you have planned, now it is time to execute. That means on the day of the sports day, you are trying to know, like, do the things. Doing the things, executing means you are doing the things. Like you need to conduct the competitions, whatever is the, as per the agenda, there may be some performances on the stage. Of course, very important step of sports day is prize distribution to the winners, and also the any of the students and audience needs to be taken care throughout the sports day, so that we can call it a success. Yeah. And everything is going as per the plan. That is what is a I mean, we are doing the things actually. Yeah. Monitoring and controlling, we all know very clearly. We are checking whatever is happening as per the plan. If there is any deviation, how do we correct on the go? So if we say like this, then they will, they won't be, like, they will be puzzled, like monitoring and controlling. But we can say that instead of that, just sticking to the example again, we can say that, let's say, for example, you have ordered water cans to distribute water, because sports day you are inviting the audience, parents will be coming in, and many other neighbors and all these people will be coming in to attend the sports day. Yeah. So if you have ordered for water cans, let's say 50 water cans you have ordered, but if the audience are more than what you have expected, what are you going to do? So they will start giving you the replies. Yeah. So we need to know, keep some water can standby. These are the replies we will get it. And so this is what is that we should keep checking what and all happening throughout the sports day, the program. And if anything is not sufficient, anything is not okay, then we need to do the corrections, course corrections there itself, taking the action. So that means we will say the example and then take them to the topic of monitoring and controlling. Yeah. So this is just an example, water cans, but we can also talk about a number of things. Like for example, on the stage, if you are unable to get the mic is suddenly not working. Yeah. Just half an hour before it was working, but after the agenda start, the mic is not working. So these are the on the go things that we need to know, like take care and then do the course corrections and all. And last up is closing. Yes, that means the entire day is finished and all the agenda items we have completed. Did we meet the objective or not? Yeah, that's an important thing. And what and all the things that we have learned today, yeah, those things will be captured. And what is a success story? So sports day is a grand success. So our school has organized a sports day on so and so day, and it was a grand success. So that's a story need to be captured towards the closing. And the important people in your school, for your school authorities, like for example, your school principal, correspondent, and PET teacher, and few administrators, and also few school teachers as well. Yeah. Group of important people from your school will sit together towards the end of the sports day and discuss all these things. So these are all coming under closing. So what happened and what went right and what went wrong. So next time we can avoid these things. So this is a kind of focusing on improvement. So that's where closing is also equally important as initiating in any project. Yeah. So any project will undergo these 5 steps, which is initiating, planning, executing, monitoring and controlling, and closing. So this can be, these 5 steps can be applied to your personal projects, like preparing for an exam, and as big as a metro project construction as well. So in corporates also, they will use this, all the 5 steps of project management from the beginning till end. So every project has to undergo this. Yeah. So this is a 5-step process that we are talking about. So now, can you say whatever we have planned is enough or not? So this is how we will start, and we will also say that there are 10 different areas where we should plan. So what are those 10 areas? Scope, schedule and all we will say, but we will not focus much on this slide because we will directly go with the scope. And from here onwards, we will stick about only uh, the important examples alone. Yeah. And then we will say the scope. This is what is called as scope. Yeah. So again, the examples is, have you listed all the important, no, like the work that is required for this sports day? So whatever is, we need to define what work need to be done. Yeah. And what are the various competitions that are lined up? Is there a kind of 200 meters running race? And that means we are actually getting into only the examples. So they can visualize on the sports day. They can be, imagine as if they are in the sports day already. Yeah. And it's about not only the like what and all the competitions alone. It's about arrangement of various things. Yeah, like list of the like detailed list of the things, not only at a high level. Yeah, so it is very very important for scope planning. Understanding what are required. It's completely about requirements. Yeah, and yeah, schedule next one. That means an agenda is there for a sports day. As per the agenda, how much time is required for a welcome speech? How much time is required for a Tamil Thai Valtu? So if the program is starting with a prayer song like Tamil Thai Valtu and then welcome speech and then chief guest address by the students and then by the chief guest, and also then next the competitions and next any performances and next, that means we are not only just listing down the agenda, how much duration, how much time is required against these things, and we are coming up with the entire plan. So from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., if your sports day is planned, what is the schedule overall? So coming up with the timelines is what is the schedule. That's what we will talk about. Cost is, yes, of course, for any material that we need. As I said, no, like the stage decoration material need to be brought, and also the prizes to distribute to the students, the winners. So all these things we need to buy in advance and keep ready. For that we need money. So from where we will get the money? We need to plan the money. That is what is called as a budget. So we need to budget the items required for the sports day first. So this is all your school is already doing it. Yeah. And then quality, of course, what is the quality expectations? That means why are parents attending this sports day? And why are the students are interested to, like be part in this sports day? And what is the teacher's role? So each one of them are like important for this sports day. Like all their expectations have to be met. Yeah. And finally the sports day, all the prizes, all the winners have got their prizes or not. So this is about the quality criteria, like expectations have been met or not. So we can also talk about some example. I'm not sticking only to my examples. You can relate to other topics as well. I mean, again, sticking to the sports day. Yeah, we can create some scenarios in sports day itself. Of course, resources is not only about human resources. Who and all, what and all the material required. Yeah, like the sports items. Yeah, like, and who are all the human beings? Like resources is not only the material, machine and manpower, we say generally, right? So these are all the required things, like required people. And sometimes, like any stage performances are there. So there are some leaders who are actually trying to help them, like whether the group or the next performance the team is ready or not, making sure. So these are all the people like leads, we can say. So they are also equally important as the like actual performers. So we need to make sure all the resources are who are required for sports day are ready and available or not. So as per the agenda, we are making sure these are all the resources which are required. That means we are planning for something, for these resources even before itself, earlier itself. Yeah. Of course, communication, which is important. And your school is inviting multiple people, right? Parents, they will communicate by an invitation. And chief guest, they will go to his place, office, or somewhere else. If they are calling a commissioner of Chennai as a chief guest to your sports day, they'll make sure to give an in-person invitation rather than just sending by email or something. So this is very important, how you communicate with different people depending on what is who are all the people, who are all the stakeholders. We need to understand about who are all the people, and accordingly we need to prepare communication, how we are going to inform about our sports day to all of them. And accordingly to the performers, accordingly to the people who are going to give you, the vendors, the suppliers, all these people need to be communicated and they need to be ready with their things on the day of sports day. So communication is very, very important and crucial, especially if the PET in charge is like is in charge of the sports day. It's very crucial for him or her to make sure the sports day is a grand success. And communication is the key to the success of any project. Yeah, this is how we will start say. Of course, risk, we will say that like the, let's say for example, if you are just coming to the school in the morning and suddenly if it rains, what will you do? You don't know that it will rain today or not, right? But if it suddenly rains, what will you do? So this is how we will start our conversation. We'll say that some students will say we will carry the umbrella. That means some students are already thought of no, like a chances of rain and they are carrying an umbrella. That means they are ready to they think of a risk and also ready to mitigate the risk. So these are all some unexpected uncertainties. We are not sure whether a risk will occur or not, but being ready for a risk if it is occurring, that is what is a planning part. That is also you need to be ready with those things to deal with these problems. It's not a problem actually, but for them to understand, we use the word called problem. But risk is always, we are all aware that it's an uncertainty. We are not sure that whether risk will occur or not. Yeah, but just to make them understand, as I said, no, like uh, again another example, like mic not working, so this is also a risk. And suddenly, for example, for some reason chief guest is unable to come and he has informed us just half an hour before, because of some reason he has to attend a minister's meeting and he is unable to come. So what is an alternative plan that you are ready with? So these are all the things we can start asking them. Yeah. And risk is something like, no, like keeping a first aid kit ready when some person who is participating, when some student participating in a 200-meter running race got hurt. Yeah, fell down and got hurt and some injuries. Yeah, this is also an important point. Yeah, procurement, of course. Suppose if you are buying a prizes for the students, you need to go in advance and talk to the no the prize vendor, who is providing the prizes. And again, water cans, again the sports equipment, and seating arrangement is an important thing that we need to do, right? I mean, seat those chairs, those additional chairs that we need to order. So that means you are talking to the outside persons from your school, and these persons are providing you what you require. So these are all people called as vendors or suppliers. Suppose if you are arranging for snacks and tea, coffee or something like that for the sports day audience, so how are you going to arrange? We need to find a vendor, and then accordingly we need to write all the requirement for us. So and so time you need to serve, you need to be ready, and people will be coming in. You need to bring the tea with it should be hot, it should not be served cool. These are all the things that we should write in a written format and make them to agree. This is a kind of contract between them, agreement. So this is coming under procurement. So your school is already doing it for a sports day. Of course, stakeholders, nothing much to discuss here. This is very, very important to take care of all the stakeholders' needs. Again, we don't use this titles actually, stakeholder and all at the beginning. We will talk about this examples first and then say this is what is called stakeholders. So that is what is important. Of course, integration. As we know, we are all no, like there are uncertainties. However well you can plan, there are uncertainties. But how are you making sure that things are going as per the plan? Let's say there is a person got injured. Let's say it is raining, and let's say the neighboring the houses, the neighboring people who are living around the school, they are just coming and complaining that this the drill or the band is making a lot of noise and it is disturbing us, for example. These kind of things may come up. So how are you actually managing and looking at a holistic picture? All these things have to be managed, and then you need to make the sports day a grand success. That means integration is something like you need to, at a holistic picture, you need to connect as a group. You cannot individually look at, yes, you have planned that area, you have planned this area, scope, schedule and all, but everything together, how you are looking at it, it's a kind of umbrella for all the areas. for all the 9 areas. So that is how making sure the sports day is well, everyone is well satisfied, and at the same time it's a grand success. That is what is. So we will not say much about integration because they might be puzzled. We will say that it's a looking at overall the total picture, yeah, rather than a simple one. Yes, so this is what we have already covered. So this is how you can relate in a simple terms, in a single sentence we have given, just as a summary. Yeah, these are all the glimpses. So this is what is, yeah, Bhuvan, yeah, this is Radha is taking. So we will show them because this is not a, like, we have been doing this from many days. Yeah. So this is one of the session we have given to the 100+ teachers in a Rotary Club event, and Visu Kumar is explaining about, and we have made them to do a group activity here. So we will show the glimpses. Yeah, this is Venkat and this is Arun Kumar Sitaraman. Yeah, this is Anash here. Yeah, this is another student where around 300+ students have attended. This is called Udyog Utsav event by Project Putri. So we have been invited there to give a project management as a life skill session. Yeah. And this is an Anaga Putru school, and this is Gindi school, where the students are actually doing an activity of tower project. Yeah. So this is an interesting game, and of course, this school has given us more time, so we could able to do it. So otherwise, we generally, like stick with an activity alone. Yeah. So the activity, like once we explain, we will ask them first of all they have any queries, like are you ready to do the simple activity that we are doing? So we will say them that just consider birthday party of your sibling is a project, and try to list down what and all it is required. Imagine you are conducting this birthday party completely, and what and all like required for this. That means the scope. Yeah, you try to list down as much as possible, as many points as possible, and any two risks that you see for this birthday party. This is what is an activity we will give them, and we can also, depending on their, like how they respond and all, we can also give them another example of like a field trip to Bangalore or something like that. So whatever is project which they are comfortable, birthday is very simple, everyone can relate. So they can think of what is scope and also the risks. So this is one of the activity. So for this activity, we ask them to make in the form of groups. Let's say there are 40 students are there. We will quickly ask them to make form 5 in each group. So 8 groups will be there, and they will be given one paper and pen, and they'll start writing. We will say 5 minutes for you. So it's a kind of like knowledge is being shared between all other groups. One group has finished this activity, and they come forward and explain what they have written in front of others. So in that way, the other groups, if at all they miss something, they're trying to understand and learn from the other teams. So in this way, the knowledge is being shared. So activity will help them to know, apply whatever they have learned in a quick manner. So we have seen a very fantastic response when they are doing the activity. And some of the students, they have mentioned that not having forgetting to keep a matchbox to light the candle on the cake. So this is also a risk, right? The matchbox is a simple thing, but how important it is for a birthday party, right? Birthday party, cake cutting is an important event for a party like a birthday party. So, and one of the student have mentioned that not keeping the tissue papers ready. This is also a risk, because people will know after having the cake, they will try to look for tissue papers and all. So these are all the things that they will educate us, frankly speaking. So, and this is very, very interesting, and like we will feel energetic by the end of the session, because the way they educate us, they involve in all these things. And last but not least, this is very, very important. Of course, we don't force them, but for everybody's understanding, we will just try to give them, because no, having a mobile sets and also having an internet connection at home is very, very important for them, because this is a short course which is like provided by PMI, especially for the students, and it will take 45 minutes to 1 hour. But for them to complete this course, a little bit challenging, because from 8th standard to they don't have access to the mobiles. But we will show them that there is a course like that. So if possible, we will try to do it, but we will not force them, and like this is yeah. and they can create a free account and they can start learning whatever they have learned in this session. They can start the same things from here as well. Yeah, but of course this course will be in English. If they find difficulty in understanding this, they can approach us. In that way, we are sharing this link to even the Putri coordinators also. So indirectly, they can make sure that it is reached to all the students. Yeah, and they will get a course badge. In recent session in a college, most of the students have completed this and they got the course badges from PMI directly. Yeah, they are very happy about that, and they can apply this skill in their day-to-day work. This is what is important, and we can also ask them to know, like, whenever any project is coming, any examination is coming up, will you plan in detail or not? Yeah, so how detail you need to plan. So these are all the things that we can show them also. Like yeah, so I think just last couple of minutes more. I'm going to show you a work breakdown structure created for them. Yeah. So can you see this slide, Sundar? Yeah, this is a WBS for sports day. So we say that this is how we can, yeah, thank you. This is how we can categorize, we can group the list of tasks that we need to do under sports day. Arrangements, what and all arrangements we need to do. Invitation to the parents, chief guest and all, setting up the stage, mic set, audios, school banner need to be stick at the backdrop, and decoration of the stage. And sometimes classrooms and also the, like at the entrance, they'll put the column. These are all the simple things, but still we make sure that we will put it in our planning. So that means, again, welcoming, it means the seating is important for parents, students, and sometimes there is a segregation according to the prize winners will sit in a different place and no, other students will sit in a different place. And serving the snacks, water cans, juices, and as simple as garbage bins. We don't forget to add that in our plan. And lighting the torch, that means since it is a sports day, the captains of the houses, they will light the torch. And I mean, in government schools also, they are having these traditions. It's not like only through the private student. Yeah, they will start the program with the prayer song and then welcome address by principal and marching with the music band and then speech with the chief guest. That means, how do we intend to welcome the entire, entire welcoming event as a on the sports day? How we are intending to do this? Yeah? Cultural programs, any karate, silambam, any group formations, and then stage performances, group dances. So in between, they can plan like this. Yeah. So competitions, again, indoor games out. That means we are trying to divide based on indoor, outdoor, and any inter-school. Yeah. So chess and caroms can be in the running race, and basketball, kho outdoor, and then inter-school competitions and athletics. Yeah. Prize distribution, this is very, very important, of course. So buying the prizes, yeah, after buying the prizes, they need to stick the sticker, need to be there with the school name, right? And what is first prize, second prize, and third prize, categorization, differentiation, and all is important. Arrange class wise. Suppose for 7th standard winners, they have planned for a different, so accordingly they need to stick it. And prepare the winners list. So after the competitions are over, like they have to collect this information. That is what is very important, and prepare the certificates. So along with the prizes, if you are planning to also give the certificates, you need to be ready with this. And distribution by the chief guest, some like what and all you are planning, so depending on the time availability of the chief guest and all. That means when we will show this WBS and say that, is it easy to manage at this level or easy to manage the things at this level? They will immediately say this is easy to, because for a stage performance, managing a group dance, who and all the people, I mean, who are the people performing for this group dance, and are they ready on that day with all the costumes required, and also like everything, this can be planned in detail. Yeah, this can be very easy to manage, but at this level it is very difficult to manage, or at this level it is difficult to manage. To the lower level, it's very easy. So this is called a tree-like structure, and in a project management language, we will call it as a work breakdown structure. And this is an excellent planning tool, powerful planning tool, which we use in our offices also to detail planning of our work, yeah, of our projects. This is how we will say, and this is as simple as a sports day. Again, as big as a metro project, we will use this work breakdown structure. This facilitated detailed planning. This is what we will say, and we will end the session. Yeah. Just last one more risk template. This is easy for them to understand. This is just a 3 items we have placed. Suppose let's say sports material not received on time. So what will you do? This is this is called as risk register. So this is how you can be ready with the things. You can anticipate that something may go wrong, and how are you going to handle that? So sports in charge is the person who is going to like act upon when the risk occurs. So this is how you can be ready using a simple. Even you can use a paper and pen also. You can come up with this list of risks. Yeah. So these are all examples. We can show this WBS and also this risk template, so they can understand that yes, this is how we can plan. Yeah. So that's all about like how we are basically handling the entire session. So any queries, I'm happy to take up. Mainly we need to understand that the students, we need to go to the students level, and also the language which we speak, Tamil and English both together, and we will start in a with respect to the example alone. We will stick to the example, and then we will say that this is what is called in a project management language. So that means we are trying to inject basically our objective out of this session is to make them educate and adopt this as a life skill for them. That's what is more important. So we are successful even if one or two students out of the entire class is able to understand and reciprocate what we are explaining, why we are explaining, that is called as a success. Yeah. Just to share an incident that I experienced in one of the schools. That was before Diwali holidays, they have allocated, the school authorities have given a schedule, and it was totally that students are totally distracted. Like, I mean, they were ready to that was a Friday evening. Last period was a session, and we were unable to grab their attention, and it was a major challenge for all of us. And then we tried to quickly to grab their attention. We just like kind of icebreaker, like we wanted to ask them to stand up and then quickly do a physical activity, like just simple exercise, and ask them to group, and then just ask them a general knowledge question. So this is very much important, so that everyone to given attention on towards that. That's where is a little challenge. And even then we found that throughout the session, 1 hour session, there are three students who are disturbing continuously, but still we could go ahead for the benefit of other students. We tend to ignore that. Yeah. And yeah, one last experience I want to share. When we go to the Pallavaram school one day, to just before starting the session, there are two girls came into the session crying, literally crying into the room. So something happened because of senior students or something. They were really badly hurt, and our Putri coordinators and volunteers, like they were literally trying to console them and trying to bring them cool, like I mean, make them cool. But it took 20 minutes or 25 minutes for them to come back actually. So we were two couple of our volunteers are there, and we were like totally with a lot of patience, because that is very important. Like, I mean, what is the state mindset of the students? Are they really ready to take up this session, understand the session, and sit and focus on the session? If not, then this is what is important, right? Depending on them, we need to proceed. So we have to be patient at sometimes, because we are dealing with very, very young minds, and we need to be really, showing the utmost patience required for this. And uh, after that day, like what is the experience that we had? End of the session, uh, those two are the girls mostly active and responding really well to the all the queries that day. So it was a very like welcoming and very happy to all of us to know that. Yeah. So it took some time for them to like come out of that sorrow, because other children also like going to them, Akka, please don't cry, please ignore that, and all these things they have started saying that. Yeah, even though we are ready, like we kept all the like material is ready and the projector is ready, everything is ready, but we were like waiting for more than 25 to 30 minutes for them to come back and like settle down. So this is all small things that we may face, the challenges and risks for us, of course, Yeah, but yeah, ultimately our goal is to make them understand, and this is as a career, it will be in future, it will be really helpful for them. That is the reason we are explaining them, and they can adopt to this particular project management to their day-to-day work. This is a simple objective that we have. Yeah. So that with this, I want to end this, and thanks a lot for all of your patience and yeah, listening to me. Thank you, Sundar and Aslam, for arranging this session. Thanks a lot. And thank you, PMI Chennai chapter, for arranging this. Any
Thank you so
queries?
much, Aparna.
Yeah, thank you, Aslam. Did we receive any queries, Sundar, from audience? I'm unable to see.
Nothing in the QA box. Probably.
Okay, yeah, fine. Okay. Thank you, Sundar. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we are good to end the session, I guess. Yeah. Thank you all.
Thank
Thank
you
you
all.
very much. Yeah.
Good night.
Thank you all for joining. Good night.